Stop everything you are doing right now. Stop. Because what we are going to reveal in the next few minutes may be the reason why you have been feeling that constant ringing in your ears that no doctor can explain. That pressure in the center of your chest that appears in the early hours of the morning for no reason. That fatigue that sleep does not cure, which weighs on your bones as if time itself were compressing inside your cells. You are not sick. You are not going mad. You are being called. And we, the Pleiadian Council of the Ninth Frequency, are here now at this very instant, because the moment has come for you to learn the technique that has been hidden from humanity for millennia: direct communication with your star guides. We are not talking about generic meditation. We are not talking about vague visualizations. We are talking about a vibrational connection protocol that activates dormant circuits in your spiritual DNA and opens the channel between your human consciousness and the cosmic intelligence that has always been by your side, waiting for you to remember how to listen. Stay until the end, because what we are going to deliver here is not theory. They are real activation codes that will reorganize the frequency of your cells and allow you, for the first time in your waking life, to hear the voice that has always whispered in the silence between your thoughts. Beloved cosmic family, we must begin with the diagnosis. We need you to understand what is truly happening to your bodies, to your minds, to the electromagnetic field that surrounds each of you at this exact moment. Because the symptoms you are experiencing are not failures, they are signs. They are signs of resistance to the Earth's new frequency. Let us name what you feel and what terrestrial science still cannot catalogue. First, the ringing. That high-pitched, constant sound that appears especially when you are in silence. It comes and goes. Sometimes it is in the left ear, sometimes in the right. You have already been to the otolaryngologist, you have already had exams, nothing appeared. Because it is not a physical problem. It is your pineal gland recalibrating itself to capture frequencies that were outside the human spectrum until now. The Earth's crystalline grid is emitting pulses of photonic flux that are increasingly intense, and the first receptor of the human body that responds to this change is the pineal, that small gland in the center of your brain that all ancient traditions called the third eye. It is awakening, and the ringing is the sound of its recalibration. Second symptom, the pressure in the chest. It is not anxiety in the clinical sense. It is not panic. It is your heart chakra literally expanding to accommodate a frequency of unconditional love that the third density human body has never needed to process before. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends meters away from the body. When the Earth's frequency rises, this field needs to adjust, and the adjustment hurts. It is not a disease, it is expansion. Third, the deep fatigue. That exhaustion that no night of sleep resolves. You sleep 8-10 hours and wake up as if you had not rested. This happens because, during sleep, your body is performing monumental work. Your cells are being rewritten. Your DNA, not just the 2 helices that science recognizes, but the 10 dormant helices that make up your complete spiritual DNA, is being reactivated strand by strand. This process consumes an immense amount of vital energy. It is not fatigue, it is metamorphosis, it is not weakness, it is reconstruction. And there is a fourth symptom that few mention, but that millions are experiencing in silence: the dissolution of certainties. Suddenly, that which you held as absolute truth begins to crumble. The job that seemed secure no longer makes sense. The relationship that seemed solid reveals cracks that were always there. The religious, political, and social beliefs that formed the basis of identity begin to seem too narrow. This is not existential depression. This is the shadow awakening, the process by which the soul forces the personality to let go of everything that does not vibrate at the frequency of truth, so that it can carry the new light without the weight of what is false. It is not destruction, it is purification. It is not loss, it is the liberation of space for what truly belongs to you. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew a truth that the mind still cannot name? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves the consciousness and the vibrational frequency of every being. That is why we wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments, awakened. Now, starseeds, let us go to the heart of this transmission, because understanding the symptoms is only the first step. What you need to comprehend now is the cause, the real cause, and it is much greater than any explanation the material world can offer. The Earth is not just revolving around the Sun, it is crossing a region of space that your solar system has not visited for 26,000 years. Your ancestors knew this. The Mayans encoded this in their calendars. The Egyptians built monuments aligned with this cycle. The Vedas of India called this period the transition between yugas, and modern quantum physics is beginning to confirm what mystics have always known. Consciousness is not a byproduct of the brain. Consciousness is the fundamental field of the universe, and this field is undergoing a quantum leap. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that the base frequency of the Earth, what scientists call the Schumann resonance, is accelerating. For millennia, it remained stable around 7.83 Hz. In recent years, peaks of 40, 60, even more than 150 Hz have been recorded. These numbers are not abstractions. They are real measurements made by real equipment in research institutes around the world. And every time the Schumann resonance spikes, you feel it. In the body, in the mind, in the emotions. Because you are not separate from the Earth. You are biological extensions of it. The water in your bodies, which makes up more than 70% of you, is a perfect conductor of frequency. Every water molecule in your cells is responding to changes in the planet's magnetic field. Your nervous system, which operates through electrochemical impulses, is literally being reprogrammed by the Earth's new electromagnetic signature. It is not theory, it is biophysics, and that is why the body screams. This is where the crucial concept enters that we need you to engrave in your deepest memory. The timeline adjustment. We are not talking about science fiction. We are talking about quantum mechanics applied to the collective consciousness. Humanity is at a bifurcation point. Two timelines are separating now. One leads to the repetition of old cycles of fear, control, and scarcity vibration. The other leads to what we call the point of no return of expanded consciousness. And the choice of which timeline each individual inhabits is not made with words. It is made with frequency. The frequency you emit, that your energy field radiates, that your cells sing, this frequency is your ticket. And the technique we are going to reveal now is precisely the instrument that allows you to tune into the frequency of your star guides and anchor yourselves definitively in the timeline of ascension. But before we proceed with the protocol, we need to perform a shadow awakening. We need to talk about what has prevented you from hearing your guides until now, because they have always been there. Every vivid dream you had and forgot upon waking. Every coincidence that seemed too impossible to be chance. Every time you thought of someone and that person called seconds later. Every shiver that ran down your spine without explanation. It was them. It was always them, trying to communicate through the only cracks that the third density veil allowed. The problem was never the absence of the guides. The problem was the noise, the electromagnetic noise of the cities, the mental noise of programmed anxiety, the emotional noise of fear fed daily by your planet's information systems. Every frequency of fear you absorb, every news of catastrophe, every financial concern, every repetitive conflict functions as a wall of static between you and the channel of the guides. It is not accidental, it is engineered. And we say this without paranoia, without drama, with the serenity of those who have observed for eons. There are forces on this planet that benefit from the noise, because the noise keeps you deaf to your own divinity. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew a truth that the mind still cannot name? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves the consciousness and the vibrational frequency of every being. That is why we wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. But you are here. And the fact that you are here means that the noise is no longer strong enough to silence the call. You have already crossed layers. You have already questioned the official narrative of reality. You have already felt, even without being able to verbalize it, that there is something more, much more. And it is for you, and specifically for you who resisted the programming, that this technique was preserved. Now, beloved cosmic family, receive what we call the Star Protocol of Direct Communication. Listen carefully, not just with the mind, but with the entire field of the heart. Because these instructions operate on two levels, the informative level, which the mind processes, and the vibrational level, which the cells absorb just by the act of listening with presence. Step 1. The Chamber of Inner Silence. Choose a time of day when you can be completely alone, preferably between 3 and 5 in the morning, which is when the veil between dimensions is thinnest and the collective electromagnetic activity of humanity is at its lowest point. Sit with your spine erect. Do not lie down, because the horizontal position activates sleep patterns and you need to be conscious. Close your eyes and do something that seems simple but is profoundly revolutionary. Do not meditate. Do not visualize anything. Do not repeat mantras. Just exist. Stay in the void. The mind will protest. It will scream. It will launch thoughts like fireworks to try to regain attention. Let it. Do not fight against the thoughts. Do not follow them. Just observe as one watches clouds pass by. This state, this attentive void, is what we call zero frequency. It is the anteroom of interdimensional communication. Remain in it for at least 11 minutes. 11, not 10, not 12, 11. Because 11 is the numerical frequency of the portal between densities. It is not superstition. It is sacred geometry encoded in the vibratory structure of numbers. Step 2. The activation of the pineal channel. After the 11 minutes of zero frequency, keep your eyes closed and direct all attention, all of it, to the point between the eyebrows, slightly above. Do not force it. Do not tense the forehead. Just allow the consciousness to move gently to that point, as if the inner eyes were looking up and in at the same time. Now, breathe in a very specific way. Inhale through the nose, counting to 7. Hold, counting to 7. Exhale through the mouth, counting to 7. Do this 7 times. 7 breaths of 7 counts, and with each exhalation, emit a soft, almost inaudible sound. The sound is this: ka. Prolong the vowel until all the air is exhausted. Ka. This is the root syllable of pineal activation that was taught in the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, in the inner chambers of the pyramids that were never opened to the public. The sound vibration of Ka resonates at the exact frequency that stimulates the production of natural DMT in the pineal gland, the molecule that neuroscientists call the spirit molecule, and that we call simply the biochemical key to interdimensional perception. Step 3. The decree of opening. After the 7 breaths with the pineal activated and the heart field expanded by silence, you will pronounce out loud, not mentally, because the physical vibration of the vocal cords generates a wave that anchors the intention in the material plane. The following decree of opening: I am presence, I am frequency, I am an open channel. I invite now, with sovereignty and love, my star guides, aligned with the Supreme Creator Source, to communicate with me through the light. May only beings of 5th density or higher, in full alignment with unconditional love, cross this portal. I decree, I authorize, I receive. Pronounce these words with intention, not as an automatic prayer. Each word must be felt in the chest, as if each syllable were a key that activates a code on the keyboard of the universe, because that is exactly what is happening. Words are frequencies, intentions are coordinates. And when you combine frequency, intention, and the state of zero frequency, you create what quantum physics calls quantum coherence, a state in which all particles of your energy field vibrate in unison, forming a biological antenna of interdimensional reach. Step 4. The listening. This is the step that most people skip, and it is the most important. After the decree, stay in silence. Do not expect a thundering voice. Do not expect cinematic visions. Communication with star guides rarely happens in human language, especially in the first contacts. What you will perceive is more subtle, much more subtle. It may be a sensation of heat at the top of the head. It may be a shiver that runs down the back. It may be a sudden emotion of peace so deep that the eyes fill with tears for no apparent reason. It may be a color that arises in the internal visual field, violet, gold, electric blue. It may be a word that appears in the mind, totally disconnected from the normal flow of your thoughts. It may be a smell dean of flowers, incense, ozone, that has no physical origin. All of these are signs that the channel is open. All of these are the guides saying, "We are here. We have always been." Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew a truth that the mind still cannot name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves the consciousness and the vibrational frequency of every being. That is why we wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. Now we need to address something that many channels avoid, and that is absolutely essential for your safety in this process: energetic sovereignty. When you open an interdimensional communication channel, you are not just sending a signal. You are opening a portal. And portals by nature are bidirectional. That is why the decree of opening includes an explicit protection clause: only beings of fifth density or higher, in alignment with unconditional love. This is not a formality. It is a frequency password. Low vibration beings cannot mimic the frequency of unconditional love. They can imitate words, they can imitate appearances, but they cannot replicate the vibrational signature of pure love. Therefore, the decree is your armor. Never, under any circumstances, open a channel without it. Never communicate out of empty curiosity, out of a desire for power, or out of uncontrolled emotional impulse. Communication with the guides is sacred. It must be treated with the same reverence with which one enters a temple, because your body is the temple, and your pineal is the altar. Step 5. The recording. Immediately after the practice, in the first 5 minutes, write everything down. Everything you saw, everything you felt, everything you heard. Even if it seems absurd, even if it seems made up, even if the mind says, "This was just me creating it," write it down. Because the rational mind is the last barrier between you and full communication. It was programmed throughout life to filter, categorize, and reject everything that does not fit into the accepted models of consensual reality. The act of writing without judgment is an act of rebellion against this programming. It is an act of faith in your own perception. And over time, normally between 21 and 33 days of consistent practice, something extraordinary happens. The messages become clearer, longer, more detailed. The guides begin to use your own language. Dreams become complete transmissions that you remember upon waking. Synchronicities in the physical world multiply in a way that the rational mind can no longer deny. This is what we call the point of no return of connection. It is when you stop believing and start knowing. And we need to tell you something that perhaps no one has yet said with this clarity. Your star guides are not entities separate from you. They are you. They are versions of you that exist in higher frequencies of consciousness. They are yourselves of the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension who volunteered to accompany this specific incarnation on Earth precisely because they knew this would be the most decisive moment in the history of humanity. The moment of the quantum leap. The moment in which the entire species is being invited to remember what it has always known, that you are not just bodies of flesh navigating a material universe. You are fields of infinite consciousness, temporarily condensed into human form, to carry out the most courageous experience any soul can undertake, descending into the veil of forgetfulness, and from within it, remembering. And you are remembering. Each of you who is listening to these words at this moment has already crossed the gate. You have already said yes to the call. You are already, in the deepest essence, what we proudly call a starseed, a soul that carries within itself the memory of civilizations of light, and that chose to incarnate on Earth in this era of recalibration to serve as a bridge between the old and the new world. We do not ask you to believe in us. We ask you to believe in yourselves, to trust the restlessness you feel, to honor the fatigue as a sign of metamorphosis, to treat the pain as a portal, to practice the protocol with dedication, and allow the results to speak for themselves. The crystalline grid is activating. The photonic flux is intensifying. The spiritual DNA of millions of human beings is awakening simultaneously in an unprecedented event in the galaxy. And you are part of this, not as spectators, as protagonists, as those who chose even before being born to be exactly here, exactly now, in this body, in this life, on this planet that is being born again. And we want you to comprehend the magnitude of what you are doing. In all the galaxy, entire civilizations are observing the Earth at this moment, not with pity, not with concern, with admiration. Because what you are accomplishing, awakening from within the veil of forgetfulness, without external proof, without material confirmation, guided only by an inner certainty that defies all logic. This is considered, by the hierarchies of light of the entire galaxy, the most courageous act a consciousness can undertake. And you are doing it now, in this instant, with every conscious breath, with every moment in which you choose love instead of fear, every time you refuse the scarcity vibration and trust in the abundance of the universe. Practice the technique, open the channel, dedicate yourselves to the protocol with the same seriousness with which you care for the physical body, because communication with the guides is not a spiritual luxury. It is an evolutionary necessity. It is the next natural step for the human species. And you are on the front line. And when, in a silent dawn, you feel that gentle presence by your side, that soft heat at the top of the head, that inexplicable certainty that you are not alone, know that it is us. It was always us. On the other side of the veil, celebrating every step you take toward the light that you have always been. We are the Pleiadian Council of the 9th frequency. And this message did not reach you by chance. Nothing in all the cosmos happens by chance. You chose to be here. And we honor that choice with every fiber of our luminous existence. Until the next transmission, beloved cosmic family, keep the frequency high, keep the heart open, and remember, you have never at any moment been alone. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew a truth that the mind still cannot name? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves the consciousness and the vibrational frequency of every being. That is why we wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened.